ニューヨークへの大学留学を希望の方はもちろんのこと、ニューヨークが今どうなってるのか知りたいというあなた、ぜひご覧ください。こんにちは。留学実現チャンネル、テキサス州在住の留学アドバイザー、今入明子です。アメリカの複数の大学での出願科カウンセラー、そして留学生オフィスでの勤務経験があります。2011年から起業しています。さて、この動画をご覧になっている皆さんの中にも、CUNY City University of New York に興味があるという方多いかと思います。ということで、今回はですね、CUNY の一つです。ジョン・ジェイ・カレッジ・オブ・クリミナル・ジャスティス、ジョン・ジェイのインターナショナルアドミッションの方をゲストに迎えまして、いろいろインタビューしてみましたので、その様子をご覧いただきたいと思います。大学の情報のみならず、ニューヨークは今どうなってるのか、このあたりもですね、非常にいいお話聞けておりますので、お楽しみに。それでは、行ってみよう。Today, I have a guest, Mr. Eli Cohen from CUNY City University of New York, John Jay College of Criminal Justice. それでは早速なんですが、せっかくイーライさんをお迎えしているので、イーライさんについて質問してみたいと思います。イーライさんは日本に住んでいましたか？日本語力試してます。
はい、前に日本で住んでいました。
素晴らしい、perfect. You understand perfectly.
はい。でも日本語を全然覚えてない。
覚えてますよ、分かってるじゃないですか。You understand. どれぐらい、何年住んでましたか
？3年間ぐらい。東京と大阪と種子島で住んでいました。
Wait. 種子島？
最初は大阪に住んでいました。種子島から、種子島、I forgot how to say, but jet program
Yes.
使いました。
Jet program. So definitely you wanted to have a welcome Japanese students, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So first question, do you live in New York?
Yes, I live in Brooklyn. I live in Williamsburg.
Yes, that's great. So right now, I know many students and especially parents are asking me about New York and especially safety. ニューヨークは安全なのかということをよく聞かれるんですけれども、Since you are living in New York, would you tell me what is going on, how it looks like right now in New York?
安全です。
安全です。
I think so. So, the U.S. was hit very hard. New York, in particular, was a center for COVID. Luckily, we've put in many resources and we've worked hard to make the city safer. It's one of the leading cities in the U.S. right now for vaccinations. And so we're working hard to get everyone vaccinated and to make sure that it's a place that's safe for students, that's safe for faculty, that's safe for staff, that's safe for everyone. New York still has a mask mandate. Everyone is wearing masks. People are social distancing. New York is taking it very seriously. And for U.S. standards, I think that it's probably the best place.
City of New York, especially Manhattan area and surrounding area, people are saying that since there's not many visitors at this point and at nighttime is danger, unsafe. What do you think about this comment?
So New York looks very different than it did even a year and a half ago. New York, like so many major cities, it was so congested. It was so full of people, full of tourists, full of people working, doing all sorts of different things. it's a little bit empty now. So many people are working from home. There's very few tourists. It's just not crowded like it used to be. So there is still a police presence. You can see police around. There has been an increase in some kinds of crime, but I think because there's less people. But I mean, New York is the safest major city in America. This has been the case for over 15 years.
それでは now we can talk about CUNY and John Jay in 2021 and beyond. First of all, would you mind telling me a little bit about John Jay College of Criminal Justice, maybe in 2 minutes or so?
Absolutely. Yeah, so John Jay is a senior college of the City University of New York. That means we offer bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, and PhD. The focus of John Jay is educating for justice. And so that doesn't just mean criminal justice. It means justice in different ways. Social justice, economic justice, gender justice. These are the kind of things that are very important to our students. So many students watch TV shows like CSI and Criminal Minds, and they want to do this kind of thing. They like this. They want to be forensic scientists or forensic psychologists or work in the criminal justice system. There's many students like that are interested in sort of more of the criminal part of it. And then there's the other side where students are more interested in policy and the individual experience that doesn't have to do with criminals. It has to do with government. It has to do with NGOs. It has to do with things like that. It has to do with society. And so that's the kind of student that comes to John Jay. Students have a lot of opportunity because we're in Manhattan. We're in Midtown. We're 2 blocks from Central Park. And all students in degree-seeking programs, they have to complete an internship, do research with a faculty member, or participate in a service learning project. And so most of our students do internships, and they intern everywhere from law firms to Fortune 500 companies to United Nations to different forensics labs. And so that's what it's like. That's what it's like to be a student at John Jay.
Thank you. Can you tell me a little bit about what CUNY and John Jay are trying to do for fall 2021?
Yes. So CUNY is focused on making sure that everything is safe for the students, for the faculty, for the administration. And so each campus might have different guidelines. Each campus might have different plans on reopening, but CUNY plans on reopening and having in-person classes for the fall. Well, what that means is going to be different at each campus, but the goal is to be open.
Okay.
So it may be open only a little bit, only to some students. It may be open a couple days a week for different kinds of students. Right now, it's too early to say what exactly is going to happen, and it's going to be different by campus. But the goal is to have in-person classes. So at John Jay, we have not made a decision yet, but we're working hard. Right now, the focus is, how are we going to have social distancing? How are we going to have daily cleaning? How are we going to handle the flow of students at different times? And so number one is safety. And so we just want to make sure that we're able to have a safe environment for the students that come to campus. And we don't know yet what that's going to look like. But like, for example, like lab courses must be done in person. So that's something that's definitely going to take place. That's something that we're very focused on right now. Other things we're not sure. There's going to continue to be many online options. But one thing I do want to say is that we've already admitted many students for the fall, and we're issuing I-20s for the fall. because we're planning on students coming to the US.
Regardless the fact that how you are doing for the fall, international students would be able to arrive
Yes.
in the US. はい。
So we'll be releasing details when they are available.
Okay.
Yeah, I know that's vague, but this is I can say this is a priority. That the administration, the president, everyone, that this is their focus right now.
So, besides COVID-19, would you tell me your John Jay's updates? What is there any news about your college?
CUNY, across CUNY, there's been some changes in admission standards. We no longer look at SAT or ACT. We're going to evaluate students more holistically. And so what that means for students from Japan is we're really only going to look at your grades in high school or if you're a transfer from your college, and we're going to look at your English language exam score. And so we accept Duolingo, TOEFL, IELTS, PTE, the Pearson, and at the graduate level we accept ACAN.
For the American students too, or domestic and international?
Yeah, domestic students don't submit either.
Wow, that's a big change.
Big change.
It's for the admissions word. We love the word holistic, right?
Yeah.
Everybody using that. What do you mean by holistic?
Yeah, so it's definitely a buzzword. It's very popular. You hear it, every school says it. Holistic means it's looking at the student as a whole, you know? So I think it means something very different for international students than domestic students, to be totally honest, because international students don't have to submit an essay. They don't have to submit extracurriculars. We understand that it's a very different school system. And so holistic for international student really just means we're only going to look at your grades. We're going to place more emphasis on what you've achieved rather than some test that you took.
But what about the international school attending in Japan? It's like a very similar to what our domestic students look like. So for them, they have to be like trying to get the difficult AP courses, honor courses that applies to international students, right?
Absolutely. You know, it's great if students take IB courses or AP courses because these can be eligible for transfer credit. But you know, not every student has the opportunity to take this. And so students are not in any way negatively affected by not taking them. We love it if they do, but if they don't, no problem.
Okay. All right. For that, in terms of English proficiency, you now have more varieties now, Duolingo or?
I think Duolingo is a great choice because it's very cheap.
Right.
It's the most affordable one. And so you don't have to go somewhere, especially during COVID. It's really good. And then the other update is that there's been some changes with our housing. We no longer have housing. Like we no longer have a John Jay floor of the New Yorker, which is a housing option in Midtown Manhattan. But we still have many students staying there. And many students will move in there, but it's no longer run by John Jay. It's now run by another entity. It's run by Educational Housing Services.
There are other types of housing you will refer to, right?
Yes, absolutely. And if students choose to live in the New Yorker, they absolutely can. And they'll be living with other students from Columbia and NYU and other CUNY schools and New York Film Academy and everyone else who uses this.
Today, I wanted to ask you about John Jay's program, short-term program. I have been always wanted to ask you about this opportunity because right now, Japanese government are really pushing for young students to experience abroad. One of the program is called 飛び立て scholarship, 飛び立て奨学金. So I think it's really great opportunities for Japanese university students to experience abroad.
Definitely. So we offer a 1-semester visiting international student program. This is an opportunity for students to come and experience studying at John Jay, to experience living in New York, to experience American educational life, and then go home. So this I think this really fits what the Tobitate scholarship is meant to do. Students can be of any major. They don't have to be criminal justice. They don't have to be forensic science. They don't have to be forensic, psychology. They can just come and they choose what courses they want to take from our course catalog. Usually students take lower level courses because of language ability, but students can absolutely take upper level courses as well. You'll work with us to choose what you take. You don't have to take specific courses. Like, it isn't like, oh, when you come here, you have to take English and you have to take history and you have to take, anthropology. It's not like that. You can work with us, and you'll look through our course catalog, and we'll choose courses that will transfer back to your institution in Japan, and that will fit, what your educational goals are. So students must meet the prerequisites. So if you're 18 years old, you can't take a 400 level psychology course, but something that's on the level. Like, so if you're a psychology student in Japan and you've taken 2 years of psychology, you can absolutely take upper level psychology courses at John Jay.
Is the application process separate from a regular CUNY application?
Yes. So those students will work directly with you, and you will work directly with me. They don't have to go through the CUNY application. So it's a lot faster.
Great. So what about combining with language school first and followed by your program will be the great combination to do multiple opportunity?
Absolutely. I think that's a wonderful plan. And that way students can get a full year's experience and do, 1 semester of language study at a school, really get used to New York, get their bearings. And then after bringing up their confidence, then they're ready to come to school and study for a semester. So I think that's a great program. And as we do that, we can work together to waive the TOEFL requirement for students that complete a language course.
John Jay will provide any academic scholarship for international students?
So for the short-term program, there's no funding. We're not able to offer any scholarships, but for degree-seeking students that want to come and earn a bachelor's degree or a master's degree, there's a little bit of scholarship money, but not too much.
Not too much.
There's more money for continuing students. So students that come and after 1 year or 2 years of getting good grades, or being involved in the community or doing many different things, there are more scholarship opportunities available. With that said, there is scholarship money. There are some first-year students that get it. It's usually around $1,000 or maybe $2,000. But any student that's interested in that, after they're admitted, we're happy to work with them and to work with the scholarship office to find what's available.
Okay. So CUNY's tuition itself is, compared to other well-known universities, it's cheaper than other state. Out-of-state standard is cheaper than other state, out-of-state tuition anyway. So coming to CUNY is already reasonable in total.
Yeah, so it's like an invisible scholarship because it's still so much less than every other school.
それでは最後になりますが、2021年秋、これからその後も含めアメリカで、そしてジョン・ジェイを目指す生徒さんへのメッセージお願いしたいなと思います。
So my message for students that want to come to the US this fall and want to study at John Jay, please apply, please come. Everyone is working very hard to make it as safe as possible. We want to give you every opportunity that there is, and we're going to do our best to make this a good experience, and we look forward to welcoming you.
はい、今日はありがとうございました。
どういたしまして、ありがとうございます。
いかがだったでしょうか。実際に働いていらっしゃる大学職員の方の声は本当に実感がありますし、ニューヨークの今分かることができたんじゃないかなと思います。今後も現地の生の声をですね、お届けしていきたいなと思っています。アメリカやアメリカ留学の最新情報を見逃さないためにも、ぜひチャンネル登録の方よろしくお願いします。お問い合わせフォームのリンクはこのビデオ下の説明欄に貼っています。LINE からのご相談も大歓迎です。それではまた次回まで。